The beginning of the end. Closing arguments set to begin in the Casey Anthony trial. A live report on what to expect next. The road to 2012. It starts on a bus in Iowa for Michelle Bachmann. In minutes, a political roundup on this Independence Day weekend. Dangerous heat, new record highs in parts of the country. Is there any relief from the early summer scorcher? A new claim today over the death of Ernest Hemingway, a theory on why the famous writer may have decided to take his own life. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Witt, and welcome to MSNBC Sunday. Final judgment nearing in the Casey Anthony trial.
Based upon the dog alerts in the backyard, she in all likelihood actually took Kaylee's body back to the backyard and set it down for a period of time. Was digging too much work? Perhaps. And she decided instead to toss Kaylee's body in a swamp.
Extraordinary words right there. I want to bring in Dan Conaway. He's an attorney watching this case also down in Orlando inside the courtroom. Dan, I got to tell you, you hear that, and it's some blockbuster. Casey strolling down the aisles with her boyfriend, but all the while, potentially the body of her daughter decomposing in the trunk of the car. How did the jury react to those kinds of statements?
Well, I think, Alex, the way that anyone would react, and that's with horror, absolute horror, and I'm sure that's how the jury react. And also, I noticed two other things here. One was the way that Casey Anthony simply sobbed. And you have to wonder if finally hearing the alleged truth, at least according to the prosecution, was getting to her, and the jurors saw that. And also, I thought the prosecution did a great job in distancing two other people from potentially being involved in this case. One, George, to the meter reader. And he showed during his closing argument how it's preposterous to think that either George or the meter reader were really involved in this in any way, and it really had to be the only reasonable solution, the only logically reasonable solution, and jurors don't leave their common sense at the door, is that Casey Anthony did this in a premeditated manner. Ultimately, we have to see, but I really like this closing argument.
So if you take out the George Anthony factor and the Ray Kronk factor, as you suggested there, how much does that blow a hole into Jose Baez's defense and that which he must discuss coming up any minute now? Let's just tell everyone, by the way, the court has reconvened. They are just going through setups and things like that. Once they start testimony, we'll take you there live. But I mean, how much of a problem does this pose for Jose Baez?
I think it creates a major problem for him that he's going to have to try and address. And I think that was Jeff Ashton's whole tactic, was to go ahead, he gets to go first, then he gets to go last. He can tie up any more facts he wants to talk about at the end, but he wanted to blow up those arguments about other common sense, rational scenarios that Mr. Baez is going to try to present and has been trying to present, and I think that Jeff Ashton did an excellent job.
Yeah. Okay, Dan, thank you for standing by on that. Can I ask to you guys, Jonna and Randy, is there going to be a time limit under which the rebuttal phase will happen, that Jeff Ashton will be able to address the court, or can he go on as long as he wants to?